Here at Western Sydney University, there are some exciting developments happening in construction. Our program is the largest in the country and the most successful in our school with over 1,500 students. And this year, we'll celebrate our 25th anniversary for construction management here at the uni. Our anniversary celebrations will also coincide with the launch of our Centre for Smart Modern Construction, known as the c4smc. This initiative responds to the increasing construction momentum that is set to benefit the Western Sydney economy for years to come. It will involve the collaboration of industry, client, government and academics. Our new Professor of Construction Management in the Built Environment has wasted no time in setting an exciting direction going forward. Adjunct Fellow David Chandler has been asked to take on the role as industry lead for this centre. We're here today to discuss the exciting new Centre for Smart Modern Construction. Firstly, David, can you explain what the centre is and why it's at Western Sydney University?
Brendan, the Centre for Modern Construction at Western Sydney University is an important step forward in the construction program. It allows us to think about much broader issues than just those that are covered in normal research programs, and it allows us to be able to drive the agenda across a broad range of issues that are necessary to really fill out the program going forward. The reason why it makes so much sense to do this at Western Sydney is really that Western Sydney is now the construction hub in Australia, where the amount of construction activity that's going to occur in Western Sydney is probably more than will occur anywhere else in the country over the next 20 years. And why we think that the idea of a Centre for Smart Modern Construction here makes sense is that over 70% of the businesses in Western Sydney are small and medium-sized enterprises, and over half of them are in the construction business. So we think there's not a better place to start this initiative than here. And more importantly, most of the graduates who come from this university actually end up working for companies in Western Sydney. So this is very much a Western Sydney construction initiative.
So what is the purpose of the Centre for Smart Modern Construction and what do we hope to achieve?
Brendan, the purpose of the Centre is to bring together the four key players that will be fundamental to shaping tomorrow's construction industry. They involve the construction industry itself, they involve the clients of the industry, they involve government, and they involve the academic and student members of the university. The important idea about this exercise is that we're going to bring together the construction community in Western Sydney, the stakeholders in the industry, to make a collaborative contribution to shaping what we want to do in the program, but also helping us to fund the extracurricular activities that we want to do around that. The bottom line is we're looking to raise $4 million every 3 years to fund a recurring program and investment in construction at Western Sydney.
What are the priority areas that the Centre is looking to invest in?
Some of the priority investments include scholarships to attract the best modern constructor undergraduates and postgraduates to complete their studies at Western Sydney University, offering highly sought after research grants into smart modern construction. To invite the best international academics teaching in SMC to take up to 2-year visiting appointments in the centre to share their insights with the students, industry, academics, clients, industry associations and policymakers. Funding academic and research exchange opportunities for Western Sydney academics to visit SMC hotspots to gather, disseminate new SMC insights. Seed funding to support the establishment of SMC CoLab at Western Sydney University's Kingswood campus, which gives industry and students with an applied construction exposure and ability to test, showcase and prove new SMC innovations.
CoLab is a live construction site where we can bring minor pieces of modern construction together and demonstrate how the pieces and parts go together, how you can plan them in a virtual design world, how you can organise their procurement, but actually treat this as an opportunity to give a hands-on exposure to students and academic staff, and to do this in collaboration with the industry, where the industry will get an opportunity to trial and demonstrate new ideas and new methods in construction in a live site. So these are things that would not normally be able to be funded in the normal academic setting, and we're looking to create that opportunity through this project.
Who will we be asking to get involved and collaborate with the centre?
Well, I'll be starting conversations with the enterprises that make up the construction industry in Western Sydney starting now. We're working towards an official launch of this project in August, but we're starting to get early confirmation of interest now. We see that we feel this project should involve every level of the industry, starting from start-up organisations to those that have got only modest construction turnovers, to those that have got moderate turnovers, and of course at the top of the food chain, those that have got very large construction turnovers. Our goal here is to ask participants from the start-up industries, from the early maturing companies, from the more mature companies, to make contributions that are commensurate with their capabilities to contribute. So we're looking for contributions ranging from about $15,000 a year for 3 years up to $25,000 a year for 3 years. And it's interesting that when you start to organise multiple contributions of this nature, you start to get a larger pool of funds that you can then rely on to undertake the important investments that we want to make in the program going forward.
So why should Western Sydney construction enterprises get involved with the centre?
Well, there's many benefits. First of all, they're going to contribute to the development and shaping of the future of our next set of construction graduates, and ultimately, as some of them stay involved with the university, postgraduates and research studies. So they'll be very vital to helping us undertake those activities. But in exchange for that, these enterprises are going to get to work with those young constructors, and at the same time they're going to be able to meet and share information with other construction enterprises across the Western Sydney industry, because quite often small and medium enterprises are so busy doing what they do to run their businesses on a day-to-day basis, they don't get an opportunity to put their heads up and have a look around and share information. Most of the industry is pretty keen to share, but unfortunately they just need some sort of basis to facilitate that for them. So collectively, those that get engaged with this project, the centre, will probably be able to achieve things that they couldn't do on their own.
So how do our interested companies and organisations and alumni get involved with this exciting project?
Well, the first thing is that we're running some initial sessions where invited members of the construction community in Western Sydney will be invited to come along. They're starting next month, and we'll progressively undertake some of those briefings in the period up to the formal launch date, which will occur at the time of the 25th anniversary of construction at Western Sydney. In the interim, Professor Srinath Pereira is the head of the construction academic program here, and you could contact him directly, and I know that Srinath will be delighted to come to your enterprise, your organisation, and talk to you about this project, because this is really the thing that is going to define his leadership at this university. From my point of view, I'm available and I bring the industry practitioner perspective to this, so Srinath and myself are working collaboratively. We'll be very happy to attend any organisation or industry function and explain this initiative to members of the construction community in Western Sydney. Most importantly, we have organised that funding for this project will be able to go in through the Office of Advancement and Alumni, which is where philanthropic donations can be made to the university, And the benefit of that is that 100 cents in the dollar of any money that's contributed to this project will be purely retained to be directed at this project. So this is the best value for money way of taking what we think are fairly scarce economic resources and investing and getting the most out of them. So we'll be working closely with the Office of Advancement and Alumni to achieve this. They've set up a website address for this, and they will be managing an accounting for all of this, so that anyone at any time is able to come and see exactly what's been collected, where it's gone. And the other element of that is that we'll also be setting up a small industry advisory group that will help us review how we're going, what are the other opportunities that we can create to direct funding at, and what other initiatives we can get to build the centre. Very important time for construction at Western Sydney.
Thank you, David, for all the information, and I encourage all stakeholders in tomorrow's construction industry to contact Professor Srinath or David for more information. We'll place plenty of links for you below this video, so please get involved.